Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into episode, what is this now? 16 of Going the JC route. I am JC. That's Chris the Birdman.
Yes.
We've got some stuff to talk about. Uh, we missed last week. I'm sorry. Shit happens. Don't think I should be cussing this quickly, but feeling we
No.
may. We missed last
Yeah.
week. We had some personal and work things going on. So today
Got one
we're
person
gonna
missing.
he's been missing. It's fine. Uh, he's still MIA.
we don't care.
He'll be back at some point. I'm sure he's with us in spirit after what happened last night. Today, what we're gonna do, we're gonna recap the national championship game, just to have a couple closing thoughts on that, and then the college football season, and then we've got to talk about our boys, Cowboys. They didn't let us down for once. They may this week though. They may this week. So we'll talk through all that, but hope everybody's having a good time. You know, it's January in Texas. It was like 80 yesterday.
Yeah, but it'll be 20 tonight and then like 70 tomorrow or something like that. It'll be chilly enough where you can get jackets, and then warm enough in the afternoon where you would probably lose a jacket.
Yeah, that's Texas for you. Regardless, it'll be 20s in the mornings and 100 in the afternoon. So
We don't have seasons. We don't have your regular season. We have seasons in a day. We have
Yeah.
winter in the morning. We have fall in the or spring in the late morning. Then right around the eve or the middle day, you have summer. Then you have fall.
Got it. I mean, spot on. I could not explain it any better whatsoever. So now that we've had an awful opening, let's talk championship game.
That was really
Now, so here's the thing. It would have been nice to see TCU win. I think
Yeah.
to some extent we hoped they would have won, and to some extent we thought they could have won. But what it came down to is, man, that Ohio State Georgia game is probably the worst thing that could have happened for TCU. You just hear reports all week of Georgia being exceptionally focused. I mean, I've heard things like Jalen Carter admitting that he was out of shape in the Ohio State game and he was winded, so he's running extra on the treadmill extra every day in the week in between to get ready. There's a report that during one of the open practices for the teams, Georgia was running a special teams play, and all you can hear is Kirby Smart on the megaphone going, "Pay attention! This is important. Don't you think it mattered to Ohio State?" And I'm like, dang, that's unfortunate, missing the game-winning field goal at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve, but it's right. And because Georgia, I mean, in addition to all their obvious edge on the talent trail, they just seem so much more focused and locked in versus TCU, where it seemed more like a party that they were there. For Georgia, it was a business trip, and they showed that they knew what to do when they got there, and they didn't.
I don't know if it was so much a party for TCU. I think it was you had a Georgia team that had been there before. Like Georgia, when the season started, Georgia was projected to be back where they were at the end of the year. It looked choppy at times. They did not look as good as people as they were or could have been. That game was as good as they were projected to be. I mean, you talk about TCU. I think TCU wanted to be there. The spotlight and the talent that Georgia had overshadowed that.
Well,
And
I mean, TCU
the fact
obviously.
the fact that they lost to Ohio State. What is this? Point of the interruption?
Yeah, I'll just shut up. It's fine. I'm gonna cut you off like skipping Shannon. I mean, it's obvious.
You want to start screaming at each other?
Yeah, 100%. It's always obvious TCU wanted to be there, but there's a difference between being excited that you're there and being truly prepared versus, hey, this is a business trip and we've been here before. And every aspect of the way Georgia handled that week was that exact thing. Hey, this is a business trip.
Yeah.
We know why we're here. We can celebrate when we're done. I mean, condolences to that program after what happened. I'm like, dude, what? The question does have to be asked: why is a recruiting staffer in the same car as a football player? Just saying, but super sad to hear about that stuff going on. You know about that, right?
Yeah, I did read about that. Very
Don't want to beat that bush, but
for Georgia.
Best wishes to the program. I think one thing I had said was I expected it to be close and then Georgia to pull away in the second half.
Yeah,
well,
that's what I expected too.
Happened within the first quarter.
That's what I expected too. I expected maybe like 21-14 and like somewhere in the third quarter, and then like right at the fourth quarter is whenever you just see them probably score about. I figured it might have been like 41-14, 42-14, something like that. But yeah, like you said, it was that from the first quarter.
I mean, it wasn't even close. I turned it off at halftime.
I turned it off halfway through the second quarter,
and I think
and kind of just paid attention to it on my phone.
It almost feels like what was I going to say? So one thing I had mentioned in our last time we spoke was Georgia has a significant recruiting advantage over TCU. Georgia is the most talented roster in college football outside of Alabama, probably. That said, Ohio State's pretty close to Georgia, talent-wise.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you have an off game like Georgia did against Ohio State, that's why it's close.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia has, when Georgia is in the top 2 to 3, usually every year in recruiting rankings, TCU is what, top 40, top 50 typically, maybe in the top 20s if they have a good year. That definitely showed when you play that game. Georgia's 4 or 5 guys deep in 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" defensive tackles that are 300 pounds. Like, those guys don't grow on trees. And they can all run 4.3s, which is stupid. 4.4s, whatever. I'm exaggerating. But, the point is even not only did Georgia's recruiting advantage show out, they had their A game. If they would, it's one of those things where it almost feels like even if they had like their B game or their C game or even their D game, they had such an advantage and were so locked in, it almost felt inevitable that they're going to win regardless. It would have been really, really difficult for them to lose.
So real quick, according to Rivals, Georgia is the number 2 recruiting class for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And then TCU is number 19.
Okay. So naturally, TCU's had a better recruiting year because of their success. The problem is it's not about what they're doing in 2023. It's about what's happened in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, all of the years leading up to this, where Georgia's been like 1, 3, 2, 1, 4. And TCU's had those 20s to 40s. That builds a difference. Now, high school recruiting isn't the same anymore since you have the transfer portal. You can kind of assemble a team versus just recruiting out of high school. We see Lincoln Riley doing that in USC, where he's getting more portal players than high school kids. I think that's actually true. I can look it up.
I think I will say this. I think the transfer portal helps with the deficiency that you have in recruiting. If you can't recruit the kid, well, you just wait maybe a year or two and you can go get him probably later. But there's also if I would imagine that there's different recruiting elements that come from TCU and Georgia.
So look at it this way. In the 2023 class, USC has 19 signees, 1 commit, so 20 high school kids, and they have 11 transfers. Yeah. So they're obviously making it a significant focus to assemble a team versus recruit and develop. Now, time will only tell. This is Lincoln Riley's only first year, and it worked out this year. But we got to see what happens, in the context of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. He'll probably be with the Denver Broncos by that time. We'll see. But things are definitely getting interesting within college football. I just hope Georgia doesn't repeat. Yeah. I can't take another year of that.
No, yeah, it was nice the first year because you got rid of the other monster that was there. But yeah, 2 years is enough. Y'all can go do something else for a little bit.
So
go play in the Sugar Bowl.
If there was any year to have a good year, it's probably next year in college football. Georgia should be on a down year, having to break in a new quarterback. Should. Alabama's breaking in a new quarterback next year. TCU, they're going to have a mega turnover. Ohio State's going to be breaking in a new quarterback. Yesterday, C.J. Stroud declared for the draft. Michigan's bringing back J.J. McCarthy and a bunch of players. Blake Corum's coming back and a bunch of others. So Michigan's going to be really good next year. Next year's a really good year to be really good because a lot of the perennial teams that you always see at the top are down. I mean, as much as I don't like to see it, USC's probably going to have a really good year next year because they still have Caleb Williams. Michigan's going to be good to have another year with Blake Corum and J.J. McCarthy. I'm hoping another Big 12 team can take a step. I'm hoping Oklahoma can take a step, obviously. Texas should be able to take a step. And so because a lot of these teams are having a down year or anticipating on having not even a down year, just a reloading year. I want to say rebuilding because teams like Bama and Georgia don't rebuild. They're reloading. Because they're breaking in all these new younger players, that's prime real estate for somebody else to jump in. Like LSU might be really good next year. Ole Miss might be really good next year, but we've got to see. I mean, that at this point, that's another 8 months away. God, I can't. 8 months, that hurts. But I think next year will be fascinating, especially with the Big 12 looking the way it is for Oklahoma and Texas, with the 4 newbies coming in. We still don't have our schedule yet. They're planning on releasing it by the end of January is what I hear, but I have a feeling they're going to do something stupid like send us to Provo in November.
They're probably going to try to do something.
Oh, they are going to
as like a departing gift.
100%. They're going to shell and screw over Texas and Oklahoma as much as they possibly can, and I'm for it. Honestly, I'm for it because I think it would make the season fun. Will it hurt us with our results? Probably. But that's okay because what was I going to say? That's okay because I think it'll be fun regardless.
Yeah.
And then we won't have to deal with that ever again because we'll be in the SEC. So we'll see. We'll talk some more about that over time.
You said that college football, we got 8 months left, or 8 months to wait until college football. We still have some football to get to because the Dallas Cowboys are going to San Francisco.
Yay! I'm ready to be hurt again. No. In all seriousness, I'm super excited to break down the Cowboys because this is one of those games where I've been saying it since October. I'm pretty sure I said it on here back in October, where the Cowboys are going to be 13-4, and we're going to end up having to travel to a bad NFC South team. We're going to go play Brady in Tampa when they're 7-10, 8-9, because the Eagles won the division. And sure enough, that's what happened. And it was really interesting because Brady was undefeated against the Cowboys in his career, 7-0 going into that game. And Brady is one of those players, one of the 2 players I never bet against in the playoffs. Brady and Rodgers. I just don't. But yesterday was really interesting because I think one, Dakota Rain Dakota Prescott played the game of his lifetime.
That was the best game he's played that I can recall.
305,
It's
5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And he picked a nice time to do it. It would be nice if he had a better even game next week or whatever. Be right around there.
I agree. I think, and other than well, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in my heart of hearts that San Francisco is the best team in the NFC, if not the best team in the NFL. They are the most well-rounded team. So I strongly feel that as if the Cowboys are able to win this week in San Francisco, they've got a really good shot at making the Super Bowl.
Well, I said it from the very beginning. I called San Francisco going to the Super Bowl. And I mean, they have one of the best. I love their defense. Their defense is fantastic.
Yep.
I think it's definitely the focal point of that team. And as good as they played against the Buccaneers offensively, I mean, they were fantastic. You just look at how much time Dak Prescott had, and he was able to just make decisions back there. I do not think that's going to be the same case whenever you play the 49ers. He's going to have to be on the move, and he's going to have to be a little bit more uncomfortable than he was against Tampa.
That was one thing I was really pleased with in this game last night. That first couple drives, Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks were having their way with the offensive line. But then they settled in, and Dak had all the time in the world all night. It's going to be a little bit harder against the 49ers because their front seven is really, really good.
Yeah.
The one thing,
and they got some talent on that back four too.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like the 49ers are one of the most, if not the most, well-rounded team in the NFL. The one obvious shortcoming is Brock Purdy,
quarterback.
But he hasn't been
but the talent around him masks that. And I think he's good enough to be able to play with, I mean, anybody's good enough to be, just about anybody. If you can make it to the NFL, you can play with that talent. But I think he's a little bit better than most of your just backups. And he's played good. But, you know, the defense is going to have to make him really uncomfortable. And
I was telling somebody else this earlier. Yes, Brock Purdy has played really, really well so far. And the talent around him is helping out. But he's still a rookie quarterback. So that being is, if the Cowboys defense is able to make him uncomfortable just enough to get him off schedule, we may have a chance to shutting him down. If we let him settle in, and start, you know, getting the reads,
picking us
apart, then it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night. No matter how many points we score, they're going to eat us alive because they're just that good, and they're not going to.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping we can avenge our loss last week to them.
Like if you can get it, if you can just get it to Kittle or get it to Devo or get it to McCaffrey or whoever, like if he can tear us apart if you let him because of the talent. You have to get him out and make him uncomfortable. I haven't watched him enough to know if he can really run, but
I honestly haven't watched very many 49ers games this year, being honest.
Yeah, so
enough to know that they're very, very good. But I think here's an interesting conversation. We know the Cowboys have one of the best offenses in the country. That's been statistically true since Dak came back from his injury. We've also got a really, really good defense. We know San Francisco has one of the best defenses in the country in the NFL. They also have a really, really solid offense with Brock Purdy. The one, I think the matchup that fascinates me the most is our defense against their offense, because I'm not too sure about what happened, and I honestly haven't had a chance to go back and watch it that much. Did the Cowboys really have that strong of a performance last night, or was Brady just horrendous? And it feels like the answer is a little bit of both, but man, Brady did not look good at all last night.
I think the thing is that you had a Buccaneers team that limped into the playoffs. And Brady hasn't looked good all year. I mean, if that was Brady 2 years ago, he probably would have picked us apart and would have been different. I think they played great. They came in with a good game plan and but some of those throws were thrown really short. Some of those throws, if they're on point with Brady's accuracy, would have just destroyed us.
That's why I asked the question, because there was numerous times last night when I go, well, what the hell was that throw, Brady? If that's on target, you're shredding us apart.
Yes,
because there was times when the Cowboys absolutely busted a coverage or missed an assignment, and Brady just missed.
Yeah,
which doesn't
particularly
aid my confidence going into San Francisco, because I feel like if our defense allows Brock Purdy to get into rhythm, he's going to be able to make those throws.
But that also, to me, goes to the way that our offense played against their defense, because one of the things that Dak is not good at is he's not good at dealing with pressure. If you can get him uncomfortable, he's going to make bad throws. And there was no there was that play where they tried a little trick play where they had, I think it was a receiver or a running back and maybe a couple receivers or something, and they just stood there and pretended to hand it off, and then he turned around and nobody was in his face. Nobody was there. I don't know. I'd like to know how many times he was rushed and how many times he was sacked, because I don't think it was that often, if any. So
and that's what I'm saying. He had a ton of time tonight.
Like you said with the defense, on if it was his inaccuracy or Brady's inaccuracies and just not playing well. I'm curious to see on the flip side how the offense can do against an actually really good defense. And I think it's going to be it'll have to be. I think the defense is going to have to play fantastic, because I think that their defense is going to stop us enough where our defense is going to have to show up more so than they did against Tampa. Way more so.
Their is definitely going to be a little stout than Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay came out really, really, and the Cowboys, Tony Pollard started to break a couple good plays, but Zeke but nowhere all night, so that's not to be forgotten about. It's definitely going to be really, really difficult. But it's one of those things where if we are going to ensure that the Cowboys want to ensure that they win this coming week, they have to ensure that their defense is fundamentally sound, because if they're not, the 49ers are definitely going to make them pay where the Bucs weren't able to.
Yeah.
Which is what scares me.
Yeah. No, it there are times when I'm like, there were times when, and still now, where I'm like, that was a really good game that they played. But that was not the best. That was not the best game or the best team. That was the worst team that you could have played.
Yep.
Probably in the playoffs. That out of every team that made the playoffs, that was the worst team you played in the playoffs.
100%.
So the only thing that was worrisome about yesterday was the Cowboys getting in their own way. They got out of their own way. Now they have to go and actually beat a team.
So another thing that helped was the Cowboys were genuinely healthy. coming into that game. I think I
Yeah.
heard that everybody was practicing. And, I mean, Leighton Vander Esch is by no means a world beater, but
He was fantastic.
he was
Fantastic.
so good last night. Covering other missed assignments in the run game. He's just so good. So he's definitely a welcome return. Oddly enough, I feel like the Cowboys offensive line played better without Jason Peters in it. Which seems weird to say.
Yeah, it's almost like there were times like I remember at one point yesterday I was like looking at the offensive line and I was like, "There's no Peters isn't in there," which was nice. I mean, it was nice to see them, but like
so
you're
he
not
went out,
playing.
he
But they weren't playing a Bosa. They're not playing a Bosa.
Right. Well, that's so. Peters started and he went out with a hip injury, and so they went back to the offensive line that we'd started the year with. Smith, McGovern, Biadish, Zach Martin, and except minus Terrence Steele, right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Not Terrence Steele, Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith, right tackle. That's the only difference. Tyron Smith looked better. He looked more comfortable at right tackle as well, which was fun to see and good news. But like you said, when we get to be playing against somebody like Nick Bosa, who gets the sack title, we've got to be sound at the tackles. Whoever it is, it's sounding like Jason Peters might miss this coming week.
You might need to get somebody over there to help with the Bosa.
I mean, luckily we've got good tight ends that are willing to block. But we just
don't put Schultz over there.
Well, we've got good blocking tight ends and good tight ends, solid. So I'm not as much worried about that. I'm gonna miss having that sixth available offensive lineman, which is that flexibility that Jason Peters afforded us. Like early, that's how we got the running game started initially. Was we had our offensive line, and then Connor McGovern played fullback, and those are kind of creative formations that we can utilize to get our offense going. When we don't have the flexibility that Jason Peters affords us now, well, it's harder to run that formation with a tight end than it is, 300 linemen.
For sure.
So it's definitely. I'm
not going to lie, it's a game that intimidates me.
Other than our defensive soundness, the other thing that's going to concern me, and I'm just I'm so super grateful that Brett Maher did not come into play last night, because
oh my gosh,
after he missed the first one, I think I tweeted out, let's hope that extra point doesn't come back to bite us. Then he missed another one. Oh, and then we tried him back out a fourth time, and he missed a fourth one before he finally made
I was like, dude, like, how do you? I get missing one. Like, I get that. Like, sometimes it might.
I'd even understand missing two. You miss one way, then you try to overcorrect. You miss one the other way, but then
he missed them both the same way. He missed them both the same way.
That, and then the third one he missed the other way, and then the fourth one he missed.
Did he really? I didn't even see that. At that point, I think.
No, so the first two he missed wide right. He pushed it right. The third one he shanked left, and then the fourth one he missed it right, but it went off the post out. So he was trying to zero it in, and finally he got the last one to go through. I think I saw somebody.
You know what that means, right?
What?
You know what that means? It means that he's going to come out against San Fran and hit go 5 of 5 and hit the game winner.
I hope so.
He's going to hit the game winner first.
Oh
my gosh! If it's up to him to win the game, I might cry.
Well, so think of it this way: he missed more extra points last night alone than he missed the entirety of the regular season. He missed 4 last night and had 3 missed the entire regular season.
But the thing is like, who misses 4 extra points?
High schoolers.
I mean, I guess okay. That's not a high schooler. He's getting paid I don't know, several $100,000, maybe a couple $1 million to kick.
So, I don't know. I don't know what his salary is.
Like, I get high schoolers missing, and I understand that's further back than it used to be. 5 years ago? But like, to miss an extra point. That's
His salary is $965,000.
Okay, so he gets paid almost $1 million to kick.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's definitely a concern because similar to offensive mistakes and defensive mistakes, shaving points like that, the 49ers will definitely make us regret that.
Oh my gosh. If
even
we score touchdowns and don't, because like if that was a better team, there were times when I'm like, are the Buccaneers going to make a comeback? Because I mean it was 24-14, like what, 2 minutes left, and then I think they recovered a
onside kick. It was
31-14.
We're at 21. We're up 24-0. They made it 24-7. Then we went up 31-7. They made it 31-14. They made it up. They made it 31-14. Then they recovered the onside kick and went nowhere with it. Yeah. So, that's all it is. Is we've got to be more well-rounded. Because that's the whole reason why San Francisco is probably our worst matchup is because they're so solid and well-rounded.
The thing is that you could play as good as you did, and that was almost as perfect of a game as you can. You missed one mistake, 4 extra points. You missed 4 extra points. That's the difference between you probably beating the San Francisco 49ers and you probably coming back home here and getting ready for the summer.
Let's see, 4 points.
Not summer.
I mean, 4 points adds an additional possession that you have to score a touchdown. And if Brady was any resemblance of his old self, that cost us a game. And so I'm genuinely scared. Well, and here's the thing. I think I forgot who it was. Some Cowboys beat writer said Brett Maher went 17-19 in pregame warmups, and there was no wind in the stadium. So, what the hell happened? It just went down a bad route. Like he missed one, all right, missed the second one. You're like, oh well, this isn't good. And then you get the yips and you shank one the other way and you miss the other way, and it just continually builds snowballs, and it's just not good. That's the thing is what I think would be a super confidence builder for him and all the fans is if we had to go out next week and get an early field goal or we get an early touchdown and he just nails it. I think that would go a long way for a lot of people's confidence.
God forbid he misses it though. He may not want to come back to Dallas.
As long as he doesn't cost us the game, I think he'll be okay. If we end up losing by 1 or 2 and he misses the game-winning field goal, that's one thing. Like that happens. But if we end up losing by 1 and it's because he missed an extra point, that'll hurt.
Oh, that'll be irritating.
Or if we're down 3 and he's kicking the tying field goal, that'll hurt. That'll really hurt. Not as much as losing, but like if you were only down by 2, but instead you missed the extra point, so you're down by 3 now. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely an intriguing matchup, but it's gonna be fun to watch. I wish we didn't have the Sunday evening game. I'd like to kind of watch and get it over with. Being honest,
it's a rivalry game renewed, but
it's weird because I think it starts at like 5 o'clock on Sunday, which is weird to me, but it is what it is. I mean, better than staying up late, if I'm being honest. But we'll see. What's your score prediction?
I will go with.
What's the spread on it for a little bit of context? Let me look and see. Playoffs our schedule. Let's see. It is. Oh, come on.
3.5. 3.5. 3.5.
Okay. Do. Let me see. Click the game. San Francisco minus 3.5, over under 46.5. So that's an implied score of, what is that? Like 20. What is that? 20. It's like 25 to 21.5, essentially.
Yeah, that's basically where I was going. That's about this. I'd say Niners win the game 24-21.
Okay. I was going to say a little bit more high scoring. I feel like the Cowboys will settle in and the defense will let San Francisco settle in, or we'll be just aggressive enough that we give up a couple big plays and give them some confidence. I was thinking more along the lines of 49ers 34-30.
See, my fear is that the defense for the Niners is just going to show up and be great. And then the Cowboys are going to have to counter that. And the defenses are going to have to play.
Yeah, I think they'll be good, but I think they're going to be definitely stout. But I feel like our offense is good enough to combat that. I mean, the Cowboys have had the number one scoring offense in the NFL since Dak came back from injury.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why that wouldn't continue.
I just think that this is the toughest team that they've played in a very long time.
It 100% is.
So it definitely is elevated. They may be the best scoring offense in the NFL under Dak, but you're playing besides maybe the Eagles on Christmas Day, this is the best team that you
I just realized the Bengals are playing at Buffalo this weekend.
That it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate what happened to Damar Hamlin, but they should have been compensated a lot better.
I feel like they should be like, as much as I love, playing playoffs at your home stadium. I feel like that's a game that should be played at neutral site.
Yeah.
Like
who do you think wins? Who do you think wins?
Oh.
And while we're on that topic, we let's just talk about the other two games.
Yeah, let's just go through the playoffs so we can get out of here. So let me look and see what that game is doing.
I don't like doing score predictions.
So Bills are favored 65-35. Sorry about that ad. So Bills -5. I was honestly thinking Bills. Bills would win that game. I don't know about a score, but I think the Bills, they may not cover, but
yeah, I don't think they'll cover.
Joe Burrow's gonna put up a fight.
How about over under 48?
Over under's 48. Give me the over. Shut up, you stupid website. Give me the over. I like betting.
Yeah, I don't think that the Bills cover. I think the Bills find a way to win. I think yeah, I'll go over 48.
Yeah, that game will be a lot of fun to watch. Thank goodness it's on.
I think the AFC as a whole is going to be a lot more fun to watch from here on out.
I mean, let's be honest though. Jags, Chiefs.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
we've got, what is it? Chiefs -8.5.
I think they cover that.
Yeah, I think Kansas City kind of runs away with it. Jacksonville is not going to have the same luck they did against the Chargers. I was about to call them the San Diego Chargers.
If they get up, if they get
they're not gonna have that same luck being able to come back from. You're down 27-0.
Yeah,
27-0. Yeah, Kansas City will not let that happen.
They have a. If
then again,
as a matter of fact,
I'll
say this: if Jacksonville goes up 27-0, I think the Chiefs, could easily do that because they did it against the Texans.
Well, they pretty much did that again. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They did it against Texans once.
Mm-hmm. Is it over under 53? Or 53.
Over.
Yeah, I think you're looking at like
the Chiefs should put up 35 to 48.
I would say somewhere around 48-14 would be the score.
Yeah,
maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars score another touchdown, but
it's probably going to be a garbage time touchdown. I strongly doubt that Trevor Lawrence will throw 4 picks again, which will keep it closer than it should have been against the Chargers. Even then, though, the Chiefs are just so good.
I don't know. Like Mahomes himself is just he's on another world whenever the type of confidence that we saw in the way Dak Prescott played, that's Mahomes on a weekly basis. Just the flips, the way he just evades the defenders. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a rout for them.
All right, so last one, Eagles Giants.
So, they say that if you play a team a third time, you're liable to get beat. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Giants have been utterly whooped every time they played the Eagles.
They have.
They say that it is the Eagles are favored by 7.5. I think they cover that easily. I think they could win by 2 touchdowns, maybe 3.
Oh, here's where I think I'm going to defer a little bit. Okay. I'm not picking the Giants to win, but I think they'll keep it close at the very least. They showed a team.
You know what? They didn't blow. You know what? No. My bad.
Against the Vikings this weekend, they showed a completeness I hadn't seen from them all year. Their offensive line looked good. Saquon was good. Mm-hmm. Daniel Jones was good. Their defense was really good. If they are able to play that complete again, they've got a shot. That said, the Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFC, if not in the league. But
I'd say second.
Yeah, it's just so difficult. Like I said, I don't think the Giants will win, but I think they'll keep it close. I saw this thought, this theory. Well, it's a fact. I think it's like out of the last, I want to say 8 times the Giants have made the playoffs. They've either gone one and done or won the Super Bowl.
Oh, no.
So they've either lost in the first round or won the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? They won. So, they don't have Eli Manning playing or anything like that. But,
no, they don't.
But think about it. Both of those times they won with Eli, they were like the 6th seed. And they made it to the playoffs.
The more I think about it, I do think it's going to be more of a game, but I do think that the Eagles cover that spread. I think they find a way to score. Maybe it's like a 7-point ball game for most of it, and then they find a way to score a touchdown late to close the game, or maybe they just scored garbage time touchdown. Not like a 30-second, I don't know, something to just put the game away.
All I'm saying is, don't be surprised if the Giants win.
Oh, it'd be the most pleasant surprise. Like if we lose and the
Well,
Eagles
guess what?
lose, I'll be happy.
Guess what? If the Giants win and the Cowboys win, guess who gets to host the NFC Championship game? And guess who's going to lose at home?
We can never have good things. Anything good comes with a bad thing. So we're not going to the NFC Championship game on that note. We'll lose. Here's the thing. We'll lose to the Niners. It's going to be close, but it's going to be the stupidest close thing you've ever seen in your life. Like it's going to be like a 20-yard field goal goes right, or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. All I can say is I'm ready to be hurt again. I feel like the Michael Scott meme that just says, no question about it, I'm ready to be hurt again. And I mean, at this point, anything Cowboys, nothing surprises me anymore. But
dude, I'm an Arkansas fan. I've been hurt my entire life. Okay, the pain just runs through me. So just bring on some more pain.
Arkansas and Cowboys, hell of a mixture.
Like honestly, I don't know how I've not just started. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna end it there before we start getting.
Just edit that. Just edit it out.
I'm not editing nothing.
Well, it looks like we're gonna be kicked off of YouTube then.
It's okay. They'll just mark it not safe for kids. It's fine. All right, that's enough. We don't need to go any farther. This is episode 16. How about the Cowboys?
We were happy this week. I'm gonna be crying next week. It's gonna be all sad.
Congrats, Georgia. Sorry, TCU. Continue to cry in a corner. How about them Cowboys? We'll see you next week.
8 months. 8 months till college football season, and I'm sad.
That's okay. Hey, spring football starts in 8 weeks. So I'll see you there. But episode 16. How about them Cowboys?
We got March Madness and baseball season coming up.
That's right. I'll tell you what. We'll be back next week. It's football season. OU's going to run through everybody again.
Crying or happy, we will be back. All right.
Yep. We'll break it down next week. Hopefully, we've got our third wheel. Hopefully. Probably not.
Probably not.
But we'll see when we see you.
All right, let's go.